What do you think the biggest differences are between his approach and Joe Schmidt's, and how well do you think it's working?
I think that Andy wants to be a lot less structured in terms of, I think under Joe, like we knew where to be. It was three, four, five phases. It was set, and then after that, it was about keeping the ball, applying pressure, being really good defensively, really good in the air, and just squeezing teams. Andy's a lot more about right. I want people to make decisions on the pitch, play what's in front of you, and if it's the wrong decision and you go through that, we can live with that. But if you don't have the confidence to make that decision, that for him is a bit of a failure, I think, and it's taking time. And I think the biggest thing for me is that under Joe, everyone knew what the structure in the system was. Everyone knew when you turned up to play Ireland how they were going to play, and that's fine. That was really successful, and it shows that actually being predictable but doing it a lot better than somebody can defend you doing it is still a good method. The problem I have just with Ireland at the minute is that I kind of know where they're trying to go, and you see glimpses of it, but I don't know that you turn up to watch Ireland play fully knowing what you're going to see. And that is what's going to take time because you're trying to change a bit of a mindset and a bit of a culture that was there and allow people the freedom to make these choices.
Um, you've played against England sides. You've beaten England sides. You've been on the end of some sides, like in 2019 when England were impressive. What are when they play well? If they bring their A game, what is it that Ireland have to do to match that?
I think it's about physicality. Certainly over the last few years, and it's probably came from the points that I made about Joe. Everyone knew that if you could physically get on top of Ireland, you had a good chance of beating them. So England have brought that. I think the last few years Ireland have probably struggled to match that, and a lot of that has been the breakdown. I think if you're going to beat England, you've got to beat them at the breakdown. You've got to get that gain line. You've got to get quick rock ball. And I think for Ireland to win on Saturday, they need a way to get a foothold in the game. And I think the set piece is going to be really important for them. Can they get an area where they could almost get a break? If England are dominating, can they bring it back to a scrum and squeeze a scrum penalty or squeeze a bit of pressure from a scrum or a maul or their line out defence? They're going to have to find a foothold in the game around that set piece that they can dominate. And that's going to be vital because that'll not just exert the physicality that the forwards will want, but it'll also exert pressure in England.